Why is it that we can build cities, launch rockets into space, decode the universe atom by atom, but still struggle to understand what a woman truly wants? You try to be kind, you try to be confident, you give space, you give effort, and yet something always feels just out of reach. There's a quiet frustration buried in many men. Not loud, not angry, but lingering. A sense that no matter how much you improve, something fundamental is missing from your understanding. And it keeps you walking a tightrope. Be strong, but soft. Be protective, but not possessive. Be vulnerable, but don't fall apart. So what do women actually want? The truth is, the answer isn't in formulas. It's not in dating apps or pickup lines. And it's definitely not in the latest podcast with the loudest voice. To understand what women want, you must first understand what it means to be a man. And that journey starts with a mirror. Most of us start in the same place. We think love is about achievement, status, style, saying the right thing, having the right job, because we were taught, if you earn her affection, you deserve her love. But that mindset treats connection like a transaction, and you cannot trade performance for presence. Ancient philosophers understood this tension. Socrates once said, "The hottest love has the coldest end," because intensity without intimacy is temporary. The modern world tells men, be high value. The ancient world tells men, be of value. Those are not the same. A high-value man is a product, an Instagram persona, a set of bullet points in someone's dating profile. But a man of value? He radiates from within. He doesn't need to shout. He doesn't need to chase. He just is. And women feel that, not through logic, but through presence. You don't need to become what she wants. You need to become someone who no longer asks what she wants. Because you understand who you are. Here's the part they never tell you. A woman's heart is not something to solve. It's something to experience. Women, by nature, are not puzzles. They are reflections. How she responds to you often mirrors the energy you bring into her world. If you bring uncertainty, she will test it. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because she needs to feel that you are rooted. Nietzsche said, "He who cannot command himself must obey." And nature obeys this rule. If your emotions are always dictated by external conditions, you will always feel like you're losing her. The feminine craves depth, not the kind you post online, but the kind you carry in silence. The kind that says, I know who I am, even when I'm not understood. I will remain calm, even when chaos surrounds me. I do not need to be chosen, to be whole, because the feminine is not attracted to perfection. She is drawn to truth. Raw, messy, honest truth. She doesn't want the version of you that's been filtered. She wants the version that has been forged. Here's a hard truth many men never learn. Strength isn't about control, it's about containment. To be masculine is not to overpower emotions. It is to hold them. Yours. Hers. The tension in the room. The silence between the words. Women don't need you to fix everything. They need to feel they can unravel in front of you, without losing you. There's a kind of power in stillness, not passivity, but groundedness. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it." This is what the feminine wants. Not stoicism as cold detachment, but stoicism as presence without panic. When she cries, don't flee. When she questions, don't flinch. When she loves you too deeply, don't shrink. Show her you can hold the storm, not by silencing it, but by staying inside it with her. You cannot earn love. You can only reveal who you are and allow someone to meet you there. This is the most misunderstood part of all. So many men exhaust themselves trying to deserve a woman's love, when in reality, the right woman doesn't want your perfection. She wants your clarity of intention, clarity of purpose, clarity of values. She wants to know, will you lead yourself when life breaks apart? Will you protect your integrity even when no one's watching? Will you keep your word even when it's inconvenient? That's where trust is born. And without trust, desire dies. Real love, the kind that makes you feel seen at your worst, doesn't come from being impressive. It comes from being anchored. Women don't fall in love with your resume. They fall in love with your presence, with the way you listen, with the way you hold eye contact, with the way your soul speaks, even when your mouth is quiet. If you're still asking, what do women want? You're still living in fear. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of never being enough. But let me say this, you were never meant to be enough for someone else. You were meant to become complete in yourself, so that when someone enters your life, they do not become your identity. They become your reflection. Seneca once said, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." The same is true of love. It is not about duration, it is about depth. So stop searching for the formula. Start asking deeper questions. Who am I when I'm alone? What values shape my decisions? What do I offer the world beyond validation? Because the more you become a man of soul, a man who lives with purpose, integrity, depth, the more women will stop feeling like a mystery, and instead, you'll see them for what they are. Not prizes to be won, but flames to be honored. You don't need tricks. You don't need strategies. You don't need to mold yourself into something you're not. You need stillness. You need reflection. You need to become the kind of man who no longer seeks permission to exist in his fullness. Because when you do, when you stand rooted in your own truth, when you faced your shadows, forged your fire, and finally accepted that being misunderstood is not the end of the world, then something incredible happens. You stop asking, what do women want? And you start attracting women who want you. Because you finally want yourself. That is the beginning of everything.